Okay, so we're on taking it further for lesson 3 for our 8th graders. And this is the seat belt restraint that we have for our roller coaster. Now I have to describe the forces acting on the passenger in your drawing. The forces on the passenger include gravity. When they go down the roller coaster, the force pushes them against the seat. When they go up a hill, force pushes against the seat. When the roller coaster slows down or stops, the force pushes them against the two chest straps that are the seat belt. All right, so those are the different forces. Putting the roller coaster restraints in order. We're trying to figure out like what's like least restrictive so you can like move around, or most restrictive. So which one's the least restrictive? If it goes over your shoulder, if there's a bar or a lap bar. I think a lap bar when it's right across your lap, that's not very restrictive. And then the locking would be a little more restrictive. If you have like a T-bar, I think that means that's like where it's covering your legs as well as your lap. And then over the shoulders is most restrictive because that's restricting the top part of your body and the bottom part. Okay, so there we go. It should go lap bar, locking lap bar, T-bar, and over the shoulder. Okay, we're going to move on to the self-check. Because we've done roller coaster restraints, we don't need to do TV science or hands-on lab or proposing our own path. We have to explain again which dog will win the tug of war. The smaller dog will win the tug of war because he has more force on his side, because he is moving his body in the direction that he wants the rope to go. All right, forces, we learned about forces and velocity. The force of so let's look at the force that the dog on the left is putting onto it cause it to have more rope. This will give it more force and it will keep getting more rope until the large dog has no rope left because it did not use its force and gravity as well as its mass in the same direction and with the same aggression and speed as the dog on the left. All right, we explained it. Time to do a checkpoint to make sure we understood the lesson. House of cards. What's true about it? Gravity is acting on the cards and the table. Always, gravity acts on everything. The forces are balanced. They're not falling, correct? So the force balance must be balanced. The forces acting on them are unbalanced. Can't be both. It's either B or C. So We'll choose B. The house of cards is not stable because too many. Well, it's not falling, so it has to be stable. It is stable because balanced forces are acting on it and the forces are not changing. The house of cards is stable because there's no forces. Well, there's definitely forces, so let's see if we can say that the forces are not, they're acting on it but not changing. Perfect, so A, B, and E. If you pull a card from the bottom layer, the card would collapse. Remember, if you've ever tried this, if you like try a pyramid and something comes from the bottom, everything collapses. The forces become unbalanced because gravity would cause the cards to be pulled down towards the table. Once you lose your balance, that gravity pushes in the direction that has more force. The woman is using letters to hold up a sheet of paper on the refrigerator. What force is pulling the letter to the refrigerator? So if you've ever seen, what they're counting on is that you've seen these before, but these are actual magnets, so it would be a magnetic force. The force acting between them is a non-contact force. If you'll believe that. Magnets, they don't always touch. It's very interesting. The forces acting on the paper are balanced because there's no change in the motion of the paper. The net force has to be 0 because it's not moving. It's a non-contact, balance, motion, and 0. Now we're moving on to our interactive review. Remember this, how it was smushed in the golf ball. Your friend claims when an object moves at a constant velocity, there's no forces acting on it. That's incorrect. Forces may be acting on the object, but they could be balanced. So that's why it looks like it's not changing. Right? Even if it has a net force of 0, there's forces moving on it, but they just balance each other out. So it doesn't move. Here's this jack that's moving the car up. Gravitation and magnets are non-contact because they act between objects that are not touching. But friction is a contact force because the objects are touching. Always important. We know that about magnets because a lot of people have done that test where the two magnets, you try to push them together, but they repel each other away. They don't always touch. The strength of a force is important. Two people are moving a couch and they're both pushing in the same direction. Okay, at least it's in the same direction so they will move. All right, which ones apply for that? So 0 means that they're pushing in opposite directions, so we won't choose that. If they're pushing in the same direction, they're going to have the same sign. So we're in 8th grade. We remember last year's 7th grade math, we learned about negatives and positives. Well, 2 negatives, that's the same sign. So that means they're on the same, going the same direction. 2 positives is the same sign, but you don't want a negative and a positive. That means they're going in opposite directions. So I would choose 20 plus 20 because they're both positives, but I can also choose negative 25 and negative 15 because they're both negatives. They got to choose. They got to be on the same team to be going the same direction. Okay, so making your own study guide, that's something we do on our own. We don't need to do through a video. Lesson 4 will be a different video. Thank you.